Welcome to episode 70 of Ring Talk. 70? It's a lot, isn't it?
We're doing well, aren't we?
With me, Martin Theobald, and with Steve Goodwin, and later on we're going to have Florian Marku on the back of his win Saturday night, the Albanian Sensation, the man who's become an internet sensation on the back of stopping Tommy Broadbent after a bit of showboating, but we'll come on to that later, and Sajid Abid on the back of fighting on the Amir Khan undercard on Friday night.
Two interesting guests today.
Yeah, they are. They're both interesting conversations as well. Not that we've already filmed them, of course, but that's giving away the magic. You alright?
You're good.
And you were down at the O2 on Saturday.
I was at the O2 Saturday.
What was it like with Florian's army?
It was good. They give it. It's a lot of support. They had a lot of noise. It was a very odd fight, but the atmosphere was great, and it's part of the Florian stepping stone to get more and more people to know who he is, which is part of my job, which is to develop him and create the exposure for him.
Yeah, so I mean, he's doing, I don't know what it was, maybe 7, 8, 9, 1,000. I'm not sure how many people were there with him, but they're huge numbers, aren't they, still? And these 4 fights in, it's not like those numbers are dwindling. He's still a massive attraction.
And he'll become a bigger attraction because more people will get behind him. There was people coming Saturday who bought tickets. I saw 2 or 3 people who I was talking to who bought tickets from the box office, and they came to watch him.
Right.
There was only 2 or 3, but it was just an example. Just a couple of people I spoke to pulled me up and said, "We'll come to see Florian Marku," and I thought that's really interesting. And I think now, hopefully, that will increase even more and more and more.
Yeah, he got the win.
He got the win. It was
4th round knockout.
Yeah, it was a count out, so he did the job. Tommy, I think, felt the power and decided to run and showboat, but it was the reason it's become an internet sensation is how he was showboating doing the Billy Joe Saunders, because Florian was just getting so pissed off. Yeah. He was trying to knock his block off, and he didn't do the boxing. He just went to try and kill him, and that's naivety of only being his 4th professional fight. So. But he got there in the end, and he done it in the last round. So all's well that ends well, and he'll learn a lot from the fight. And we move on now to a big opportunity in September.
So there's a big platform, hopefully awaiting him in September, which you'll be able to announce in the near future at some point. But yeah, he's just moving on. 4-0, 4 KOs, sells shed loads of tickets. The man is a phenomenon.
But you know what? He's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it's not. He's just so excited. You don't know what's going to come next. The crowd are going mad. What's going to happen in the ring? He just wants wars with everybody. He's just a promoter's dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is.
I think Josh Burnham may not agree with the love of the wars and.
But from a spectator point of view. Yeah. That's it. As he moves up in class and gears, he'll have to be more reserved with all of that.
Yeah, and he's a lovely man as well. Actually, he's
very good. Very good.
Sajid didn't get the win over in Saudi Arabia.
No, I watched the fight. He won the first round, but he was. I would say, he got hit by some absolute flush punch in the second round. But I've just been out to dinner with Sajid this afternoon.
Was it a kebab? So he's been looking
No, it wasn't. He had, what did he have? He tried to have a lumi, and then he had vegetarian sausage and mash.
Ah.
So I don't know, he didn't go...
I thought he was looking forward to his kebab.
Didn't have a kebab. He had quite light. But, my advice to him is come down a weight. I felt that... He told me that the other opponent was weighing on the day weigh-in around 8 to 9 pound heavier than him. Yeah. So he's naturally, in my opinion, too small for a welterweight day before weighing, and we need to come down a weight. So that was part of our conversation today, and lots more. But that loss doesn't define him. He had a great experience. He had a phenomenal time. He learnt a lot. He comes back. He's still as enthusiastic as ever, and he'll still compete for titles, and he's still going to hopefully win them. And but I want him to do it at a lower weight.
And that fight is almost like a gimme for him, isn't it? It was, the opponent was particularly good, and he went there and he took the opportunity, he took the chance. It didn't work out, but fair play, because lots of other people wouldn't have done the same.
Correct.
Right, and there's a new signing this week.
Can I just mention one more thing about Saudi Arabia?
Go for it.
Prince Patel. Can we now move on, please, to... Can we now move on, please, to... what was we talking about next? I think that's the end of that.
Your new signing.
A new signing. Sagita Birdie, undefeated 1-0 fighter. She's had 1 fight, 1 win, 1 KO, super lightweight. We signed her. We're going to go through the board formalities. I actually have really grown to be very fond of female boxing. I actually really enjoy it now. At the start I didn't, but I'm a converted person to female boxing, and I think that it's something that will grow and grow and grow, and we're happy to be a part of it. And she's going to make her Goodwin debut on the 23rd of November. So we're really delighted to welcome Sangeeta to the team, and I think we've got a lot of exciting times ahead with her, because she's also got she's a London bus driver.
Is she?
She's a London bus driver, drives red buses.
I like that.
So we've got some really good marketing ploys for her ahead of that.
I see.
So it should be quite good fun.
Alright, nice one. So she's debuting November?
November 23rd, our debut. She's 1-0, but she'll have a second pro fight on the 23rd of November.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to look forward to the Last Chance Saloon.
And before we do that, a couple of things I want to say.
You're not going about Saudi Arabia again?
No, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. I just want to say 2 words, just to see what your reaction was. But let's move on. Boxing re-entrances.
Okay. It's not another one of Trevor's...
No,
right,
Trevor, no. Trevor's actually got a good idea this week.
Oh, shit.
No, this is actually really good, which we'll discuss in a minute. Boxers have come up with ring entrances. We've got a boxer coming in September to a song called Supercalifragilistic Expialidocious.
Right.
They asked me about that opinion. I said it is unique, but I'm just not sure about it being a boxing tune. Because you come out to these war things, but they said it will stand out. They asked me, they're going to remain anonymous, but they asked me to ask you about your view of that as a boxing ring entrance song. And I'm not going to say here it is until they play it.
A bunch of lights out of it. I suppose you need to break down what is the purpose of a ring walk song. Is it to get you mentally focused? Is it something that gets you in that zone whereby you can get into the ring to go and punch someone in the face and the body? Or is it just a song that you like? Or is it something that makes you stand out? And if said boxer doesn't need it for that, because I know there are boxers that need it to
definitely
get in that moment, and they might visualise for weeks and weeks and weeks with that music and visualising their ring walk and taking the curtains apart and going... If they don't need it for that, then I don't see any harm in doing something that everyone who isn't there to support that boxer will remember. Because if he then goes and does a superb knockout, if he has the performance of his life on the back of it, everyone will be able to link that back to that ring walk music and remember the name of whoever it is. So as long as all those things fall into place, I'm in favour of it. Going to look a bit of a dick if they end up getting ironed out in 30 seconds, but I can see a value in it for a novelty purpose. I'm not saying I would necessarily encourage it for the rest of their career, but...
Yeah, but as a one-off thing.
Yeah, I can see...
They were thinking of using it permanently.
Okay, well, again...
To make it as a hook. But try and make them stand out. It was very interesting just to make themselves stand out. So, I mean, I was sort of quite... Well, but I'm quite cheesy anyway, so... But they said, oh, see what Martin thinks.
Yeah, I said I can see a value in it, that it will stand out from everyone else who's got, I don't know, I can't think of the ring walk music, the standard generic ring walk music, but people wouldn't be able to
remember it. So I think there's a plus for anything. But just I'd run that by you. And the second thing, which isn't bad, is Trevor's idea.
Oh God.
No, I think you'll like this one.
Because he's Dolly Parton Appreciation Week.
No, he's done with that. He's so pissed off. He's so pissed off that I told everybody about that. Anyway, he's so pissed. Anyway, but
if it helps, Trevor, there's only 500-600 people that would have seen it.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Maybe 1,000.
No, his friend of his does computers, and he comes up with this, and he said, I want to construct, or be in construction of, a website that hooks up boxers with sponsors. He said there's no website that actually enables potential sponsors to hook up to various boxers who are looking for sponsorship and what they can offer in one particular place. So in other words, some boxers will offer something, some boxers will have something else. So he said
like a Tinder for
sponsorship for boxers and what they can offer. And he said that he thinks there may be mileage in that because his friend of his does it for free, so it's not going to cost him anything to set it up. And he said he might try and do something like that. He said it's sort of under construction as a thing, but I actually thought that was actually not a bad idea.
My initial question would be, are there dozens of sponsors out there looking to
So then you've got to direct the sponsors to it. He said then you get hold of potential sponsors and direct them to the website and follow it up. And so you act as an agent for the boxers.
No, I get that, but are there realistically that many sponsors waiting to give their money to a boxer? I don't know. I don't know the model particularly that well.
I thought it was unique. I've never heard of that before, and I didn't think it was a bad idea. I think it's better than the country theme.
I think it works a lot better than the country theme.
Seriously, but I think anybody that comes up with ideas for boxers, some of them may be a bit wacky.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes I said to him that may work.
But I suppose the ultimate outcome is if it matched up one sponsor to one boxer, then it's done a brilliant job.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, it was just to show that he's not always.
It's not always
stupid ideas. He can come up with some intelligent ones sometimes.
It was his mate who came up with it.
Well, no, he said he came up and his mate will do it.
Okay.
So no, I think it's Trevor's idea.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think we need to give him a bit of kudos.
Well done, Trevor.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah, if it managed to match up one boxer with getting an additional sponsor, then it's a great idea.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at the template when he gets it right. But it's something we might be able to use, and we can put all our boxers on that site. And then try and hook up, because maybe some sponsors will buy visually as well, but we'll see. It was an idea.
Right, so we're going to move on. September.
Yes.
Last Chance Saloon card. What is the headline fight?
We've got 2 English titles and a Southern Area title, haven't we?
Yeah.
So you've got to say that it's a joint headline fight between Dion Juma and Wadi Camacho for the Cruiserweight crown, and the O'Maison K Prosper fight for the super lightweight crown, both English title fights.
Normally in my head, I would automatically make the bigger, as in physically bigger fighters, in my head the headline fight, just because people love to watch big athletic cruiserweights punch holes in one another. But I know what happened in Prosper and O'Maison in the first one, and it was a barnstormer of a fight. And I want to see it again, so I don't know which one I'd make.
And then the other fight's good as well. The other top fight, Ramez Mahmood against Jack Budge. Yeah. It's a cracking fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3 really good small hall fights that could potentially be on bigger platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all 3 of them would be TV worthy, and far more TV worthy than some of the rubbish we saw. When I say at the weekend, I'm not talking about UK boxing, I'm talking about boxing that was conducted not from the UK, elsewhere, because I thought that some of the stuff at O2 was good at the weekend. But yeah, I that should not be on television, stuff like that. And this sort of fights are much more TV worthy. But until the TV, it was the TV platform that insisted on the Fury fight. It was Channel 5, I think, that insisted on that.
Having Huey Fury.
On having that Huey Fury against who he was fighting.
I've no issue with Huey Fury being on TV. It doesn't excite me, but if you put him in a decent fight, cool. If you put him in with 58-year-old Samuel Peter...
Look at one last time, he had some guy who couldn't fight. This isn't TV stuff, and no respect to Huey Fury, but surely TV executives have got to understand that isn't good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
And a welterweight fight and a super featherweight who retired a few years
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. But there we go. If they feel that it works for them to carry on producing that dross, and they're going to carry on spending the money, and people are going to pay for it. I think boxing, really, we need to see ITV, Channel 5, really take boxing seriously, UK boxing seriously. I mean, not showing the pay-per-views from America, and actually get behind UK boxing, and I don't think any of them are.
No, I'd agree entirely. Back to September.
So let's look at the rest of
the 5th or 7th?
7th. So we've got the 3 title fights. K Prosper really is going to have a full camp this time because he doesn't work through the summer. So he's going to have a full camp. So there will be a better K Prosper, in my opinion. It's going to be a great fight.
Is this Last Chance Saloon intended for K? Intended for Wadi?
It's absolutely for both of them. That's why we named this show Last Chance Saloon, because for K Prosper and Wadi Camacho, it's win or bust.
Yeah.
Wadi, as you know, has said that if he does not win, he will retire. Kay Prosper at 34 I'm sure he will retire if he doesn't win, because this is his last chance. So it is last chance saloon, and it's out for those two fighters.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other people fighting, Dion could come back from a loss. Jack Budge and Ramez Mahmood both can come back from a loss. Sam Mason could come back from a loss. But for those two, it is last chance saloon. But there's some really good fighters on the undercard. Looking forward to seeing Sam Cox back in. His division isn't the strongest, and I think we'll see Sam Cox move towards title fights in the next 12 months. We need to build him, get momentum behind him. He's had a lot of very sad personal things happen in his life, Sam. Lovely kid, but he'll be back, and we'll develop him through to titles, TV, which I'm sure he'll end up being a TV fighter, and I'm excited about seeing Sam Cox fight. Reece Catamol.
So he's had a lot of time out of the ring, hasn't he?
Again, some people, people don't appreciate that outside the ring, boxers have lives and issues and problems, don't they?
They have families and work, and
if you're not 100% on it, you shouldn't be getting in a ring. So I think it's good when boxers aren't 100% right. I mean, he's got a great trainer. I really rate Jamie Monk. I think he's an exceptional young trainer coming through, and I'm sure he's got Reece now under his wing, and I think he'll do wonders with him. And he's going to do very well. Terry Freshwater from Aylesbury makes his debut. He
great name.
Yeah,
I like his name.
Yeah, he was due to fight. He's a big ticket seller. He was due to fight last month, but got it, but had an injury that stopped him. So he's now ready. He's going to restart on September. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He's the local lad from Aylesbury. Yeah. He's another local lad we signed. We're building a good nucleus of fighters around our area, which is great. Another fighter that I'm really looking forward to see is Shoki Khan, which we've interviewed on here before.
Shoki Khan, ABA semi-finalist.
Yeah, again, another Aylesbury lad.
Oh, is he from Aylesbury? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing him get going and kick on. He's being trained by Josh Burnham.
Oh, is he? Because he wasn't sure when I interviewed him. He wasn't sure where he was going to end
Burnham. And seeing what Josh Burnham done with Nick Parp, I think, and he's got Florian Marku.
Yeah.
I think Josh Burnham is building up a great stable. I've got a lot of respect for Josh as a trainer, and I think that was vindicated by the Nick Parp performance, which I thought he's taken a fight. What I always say about a trainer is, can you take a fight and improve them? It's okay taking the top kids like Gallagher might take, and I want to see you take a kid who isn't going to be sugar-coated and fed by the TV companies and improve them, and I thought he'd done that with Nick Parp. I thought it was an exceptional training performance.
And there's more to come from Josh as well. He's such a young man, and he's learning his craft as well.
Yeah, and I think he's very passionate about the sport. He's very committed. He's very intense. He's got a lot of qualities that could take him to the top. For all the criticisms, I don't think people criticise Joe Gallagher, but he's a very intense trainer as well. Yeah. And I think Josh Burnham has got that sort of Joe Gallagher trait in him, which I think is a good thing, and it can only help. Dennis Danikjev, who had a tough fight with Ben Fields last time, he returns, and I still think Dennis is young, but he's going to be a star.
Big Mark Little.
Well, he's progressing well. People, as they forget how limited his experience was before he turned pro, and I think Paul Cook's done a great job with him. We're developing him at the right speed. No people say that he can fight for titles, but he doesn't want to fight for titles. He wants to fight for titles when he's ready, not just because people say he's ready to go. And Paul Cook will make that decision, and then when he's ready to press the button, we'll press that button. But he's out against Aaron Gribben, who's a one-on-one, still considers himself to be a prospect. So he's in a fight, and that's great, because he's not going to be fighting somebody who's coming to lose or to come to be a journeyman. So he's fighting Aaron Gribben, which is great. Jack Owen returns after his draw with Louis Van Pooch last time. He's a young man again who needs a bit of time, and I'm hoping he'll get back on the winning ways. He still hasn't lost a fight. He's still undefeated, and he's got a lot of time and a lot of time on his side. So we've got to do that right.
And Zora,
very improved.
Yeah,
trained by Mikey Burke over in Kent. 6-0, 3 stoppages. I think he's still raw, but he's got all the tools to make it.
Yeah. And Robbie Chapman, coming back to the home corner.
Yeah, now Robbie's an enigma. He's he's great, Robbie. I love him to bits. He decides to go on the road.
Well, decided to retire, according to Facebook.
Decided to retire. Decided to go on the road at the same time. Then he won against Terry Zunke.
Yeah.
Then he fought Bradley Spencer in the away corner, and he just came back to me and said, I want one shot winning titles first, then I'll go back to being a journeyman.
Yeah.
And I think he's made the right decision. And he's coming back with a just with a 4-rounder in the home corner, and then we'll see what we can do with him.
And he's got bundles of talent, Robbie.
Do you know he beat Denzel Bentley twice as an amateur?
Yeah.
He lost once, but won twice. But anybody can be 2-1 up against Denzel Bentley.
Yep. There's something there.
There's something there, and I think this is the right thing. But again, Robbie came to me through one of the boxing advisor type scenario, an agent type thing. So when that happens, I took a much more reserved role as a manager. Now I'm full on managing him, so we've actually developed a really good relationship now. I found out what his issues were, we've addressed them, and we're ready to go in a different direction.
Yeah, hopefully catch the break. Mark Butler had him down here last week.
He's going to fight Mikey Horrobin, which will be a good little fight, because Mikey always comes to try. And Mark Butler is somebody that I think can go on for titles, so we're going to crack on with him. And I'm expecting good things from Mark, but we've got to go through the process. He's only 2-0.
Yeah.
But I still think he'll definitely be winning titles.
And Kieran Leinster coming back.
He had that disaster with Victor Dagger last time where he lost. But he's just got to get back on the horse and get going, and then he wants to get this fight out of the way and he wants to fight Victor again.
Okay. So let's go back there.
Go back there, deal with it, and then move on. So full credit to him. No feeling sorry for himself. Back in there, giving it a go, and back out again. Full respect for him for doing that.
Kola Koyejo. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And I apologise entirely.
He's not managed by me. He's managed by Ali at Stonebridge. Okay. He's one of the Mikel Lowells.
Oh, so right. Does that mean Big Ron will be down?
I would imagine so. He's
Ronald McIntosh.
He's one of the Stonebridge guys.
They have some serious talent down there.
Yeah. So he's another one of their production line.
Yeah. They don't piss about down there, do they? Who was the Eastern European fella they brought down?
They only had one fight though, and then let him go.
Oh, okay.
He didn't deliver the right package for Ali, so Ali sort of moved on.
He was a serious talent though.
He's serious talent, but they have to deliver lots of things for Ali to carry on with.
I see. Ryan Walker, another one who's not yours.
Look at Mickey Amou's got him looking for title fights. There isn't one there. Bantamweight for us now, so
his stable mate's going to be fighting for it, isn't he?
He's fighting for the featherweight.
Oh, that's true. Actually.
And the super, and there's nobody who wants to fight him at the moment, so we're going to he's going to have a keep busy fight, and then we're going to hopefully find a title opportunity for him in December.
Yeah. Jordan Duyon
1-0, Mickey moves again. I thought he was ready. He won 39-37 on his debut. He's a talented kid, will need developing, and he's having his second fight. So a lot of these kids at the bottom end, they're going through the numbers game to learn their job, and it gets more interesting, as you know, when you get into 6s and 7s.
They're not even the next wave, are they? They're the next wave.
And if we can keep bringing forward fighters at each, what we want to do now is each wave comes through, we build them to titles and them to titles, move someone to TV, bring them to titles. It's just a case of building them all through.
Because I remember when you're Sean Robinson, Brad Paul, Lanashi Dofias, Dean Richardson, all of that lot were in this position two and a half years ago.
Yeah.
And then
Nick Parper's.
Yeah, then they kind of brought through
Liam Dillon's.
Yeah, as a boxing fan, it was great news with Liam as well, isn't it? He's
all clear to go again.
Yeah, we'll see him back soon. But as a boxing fan, I often have this conversation with people about small hall boxing and why have an affinity to it, why have an interest in it, and it's actually seeing that growth of individuals coming through from their debuts, their 1s, their 2s, through to achieving, if they achieve the Southern Area for some fighters, that might be their world title, but you get to know them personally and get to see as they build, from a young man making that debut, bricking it backstage, through to, their 10th, 11th, 15th fight for a title. Like, that to me is what fascinates me about seeing the small hall boxing side of it. And I often say it's like watching non-league football in some places, that by the kind of conference level, where you see it's not the shine of the match room and the Premier League, but actually seeing the graft that goes
Some
into
of these
it.
guys will come through and become the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's no different. We're sort of I honestly think if we're looking at fighters in Division 1 and Championship, and some of them are Premier League that haven't been identified as that yet, and moving up through to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean the Jamie Vardys that get found and pulled through.
There's plenty of these that we've got here. I think we've got a really good batch of talent.
Yeah.
With all of them that I manage, and I think we've got some really exciting prospects
Yeah.
in times ahead.
And one man who comes in and goes out of the sport, it seems, Robert Asagba.
I know he sort of.
I never know if he's.
I don't think Robert. Listen, Robert is a really nice kid, but he's had trouble sort of focusing on what he wants. Does he want to do 50-50s? Does he want to be the home fighter? Does he want to take the big fights? He had the fight with Florian Marku that he was injured for and pulled out. He wants the Florian Marku fight again. Florian doesn't want that fight anymore. That was a fight for him. He said 2 fights ago he's moved, doesn't want that fight now. I had a meeting with Florian today, which I understand. I mean, he just said that was there and then it's not now. It was the time he wanted that. So he's going to do this fight and then we'll look at options for him. I mean, having this win puts him in 5-2-1. He's sort of title-ish contention there, you know. So he's not fighting for a title. So I think that's really where we need to concentrate.
Yeah. And it seems like Robert's been around for years and years.
Just needs to get some momentum now.
Yeah, you really want to see him push on because he's such a decent bloke, Robert.
He's all right. He's a nice fella. But he's just got to now focus on what he wants and stay injury-free, and then he can deliver that for himself. I think that's the right thing to do.
And the final one on there, Ismail Oladipo.
Yeah, it's Mickey moves again. He's heavyweight. He only drew on his debut. He's taking on Phil Williams, and Phil will come and have a go. Yeah. So that's a great little heavyweight clash. Yeah. So overall, it's not a bad card at all. It's
good.
Good card. It's a really good card.
September the 7th, York Court, and the tickets.
Last chance saloon, and my God, they're selling. Over half the ringside have already gone.
With what have we got left?
2 months.
2 months
to go, just in 2 months. Half the ringside are gone, and there's more been ordered today. So it really is a case of it's going to sell out, that show, no doubt.
Right. With me now we've got Sajid Abid, fresh back from Saudi Arabia.
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Fresh back from the Amir Khan undercard.
It was a great experience that.
Yeah.
Just want to begin by apologise for wearing a hat. There's one thing I regret about the trip, and that's going to a Saudi barber. So
what did they do to you?
Mate,
was it lost in translation or?
Yeah. I showed him a picture. I thought at least that would do some good, but clearly it didn't. So you got the hat today. So yeah.
Was that to look nice and fresh when you got into the ring? And
but that went out the window. Did you see it? Honestly, it looked horrendous. but hey, it was a great experience nonetheless.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So this was the Amir Khan undercard Friday night, and you're back now filming on Tuesday. So when did you fly back?
I flew back Sunday morning, 1 a.m. So I landed back in the UK for about 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
So I mean, the trip didn't go as wanted.
No, of course not. I mean, I didn't get the result. I knew going into the fight that it's going to be a tough fight, and if anything, I was going to come out the loser anyway.
You weren't going to get a hometown decision. Perhaps.
No, I came in as the away fighter. You know, a lot of people say it's a fight I shouldn't have taken so early on in my career, and they're right, you know, but it's experience I had to go for anyway. You know, when do you get the opportunity to fight on a show like that? So, in essence, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
First round, I outboxed the kid, and then got caught with a hefty shot in the second round, and you know, as I say, the rest is history. But that's boxing in a nutshell.
But you don't look in a bad way. You've come back from it in one piece.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the fight I had in your call, I loved him worse than now. But you know, I can hand on heart say it was a brilliant experience.
Yeah, I mean, you were boxing another undefeated lad.
Yeah, of course. He was from Venezuela, 5-0 at the time, 4 knockouts, and then later on found out he had a really good knockout ratio in the amateurs. So kick and bang.
Yeah. So let's rewind it a bit. Like, how did it come about that you got a phone call to be on an Amir Khan undercard in Saudi Arabia, a man from Derby that's building his career?
It's crazy. It just came from Facebook. Like, one of my friends tagged me in a post, and I got an email following that I didn't take anything serious. Gave him my details, and then
Was that from Khan's team or the event?
No, the event organisers team. So I then got an email. I heard nothing of it because at that point the matchup was already made. So Rodrigo was supposed to fight another guy.
Okay.
But then he pulled out for obvious reasons because he doesn't want to fight him, and so my name got thrown into it. And then I got a phone call saying, "Look, can you come to Saudi next week?" I'm like, I'd like to, but whether I can or not, it depends on my current situation. So I managed to pull a few strings out of work, got a month off, and next thing you know, I'm flying out to Saudi.
Got a month off.
Yeah, like you do. But no, it was good because a lot of people at work are supporting me, my family, they all support me, and to be fair, even though I lost, they made it a lot easier for me because I came back and made them proud just by doing something like that. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean, taking that risk as well, because a lot of fighters would say no or pull out like his original opponent did.
I mean, I went into the fight 100% wanting to win. And after the first round, I thought, I knew I could win. I outboxed the kid, and well, hey, yeah, no point dwelling on it.
So you spent quite a while out there as well, didn't you? It was it 4 weeks?
4 weeks, yeah. If anything, I was one of the first boxers to get there, which I actually don't regret because it gave me enough time to acclimatise, get used to my surroundings.
The heat?
Oh, the heat was crazy. Training in 45 to 50 degrees on a daily basis. It's just.
Did you make weight easily?
Oh yeah, I was sweating up at the go. If anything, my weight was made the moment I landed landed in the country. But yeah, it was great.
And the roads, you were.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, if you want to go somewhere around the corner, you probably have to drive like half an hour out just to come back in. So that was a big pain in the backside. You're better off walking places, but even that, you can't even cross the roads because how busy they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And did you get time with Khan while you were out there?
Yeah, it was actually, how can I put it? It was just so casual. Like, we train at the same gym, we eat at the same places, and it's just like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. Then
it's slightly surreal seeing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first day I was thinking, oh no way, I'm actually eating with Amir Khan. I'm chilling with Amir Khan. Then I got used to it, like, oh, it's only Amir Khan. And
3 weeks later,
yeah. But even with his opponent, Billy Dibb, we stayed at the same hotel. We spent a good hour and a half just chatting over anything.
Yeah.
And, you see all these people on TV and they're just down to earth people once you get to know them.
Yeah.
So, it added to the experience, definitely.
Yeah. And, I mean, would you do it again? If the phone call came next week and he was doing another... Well, he's talking about the Pacquiao fight out there, isn't he? I
mean, speaking to the guys who ran the event after the fight, they said to me, look, you left a good account of yourself, you were professional, you handled yourself well, we would like you to come again in November. But obviously, until it's on paper, you don't want to believe things, do you?
How much leave you got left at work?
Don't remind me, I'm going to have to sweet talk someone there. But yeah, so if it happens again, yeah, brilliant. If not, then I'm glad I took this opportunity.
Yeah, it's incredible. As part of that, moving on then, I mean, obviously it's a first loss. I mean, it's almost a gimme in a way that you can take that and it happened elsewhere, another postcode, and you can come back and rebuild. So what's the plan now?
So just speak to Steve earlier, we're looking to fight again in October in Nottingham, so close to home.
You're Derby based.
Yeah, I'm Derby based. And obviously see how my form since then, step up in rounds, because going through this training camp, I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much in this one loss than I have in all my 8 wins.
Yeah.
And I can take that back as a win. So I've never been so confident in my own ability when it comes to fighting now. So there's that. But yeah, so see how October goes, and then we go from there. Really take it as one fight at a time.
Yeah. And then if it did come about in November, then
See you later.
you'd be off
See you
again.
guys later. Yeah.
So I mean, what's the kind of plan over the next 12 months? Because you say you're 8-1 now.
Yeah.
Would you be looking at titles over the next kind of 12 months or so?
I would love to, but I would always I'll always go by what my management team, my trainer thinks of me, my next upcoming performances.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I take it as each fight comes.
Yeah. And was your trainer out there with you for the full 4 weeks?
So no, he came in for the last 2 weeks, if anything. Obviously, he's a doctor as well, so
Right.
he gets time off. So if there's another string, you have to pull himself. But they brought coaches from the UK anyway, and coincidentally enough, I knew these guys
Right.
through family, through friends. We knew each other somehow, and then developed a bond, and
Made new connections.
Oh, definitely. If there's one thing I could take away from that is new connections. It's just been a crazy experience altogether. Honestly, I can't say that enough. It's just like I started off when I got back into boxing, signed with Steve. I started off training in my cousin's garage.
Yeah.
It's been fighting, on the Amir Khan undercard. It's been a crazy journey.
Yeah, that's mad. Are there any sponsors out there that you're working with that you want to give them, or your workplace that gave you a month off?
At your work, I might need to ask you for another favour sometime soon if it happens. But I mean, there's a sponsor that's been with me from the start of my boxing career, and we've always said, look, regardless of what happened, we'll take you with you because you were there when no one else was. So I want to give a big shout out to Torpex Sports. You guys are great.
Good on them.
Great. Obviously, I've got people I work with, like my strength conditioner stuff, aesthetics, my sports therapist, Geoff Sports Therapy. So yeah, they've helped me massively throughout my career.
Yeah.
So I'm forever thankful for them.
And fingers crossed we'll do as you go forward and move forward over the next 12 months or so.
Yeah.
Excellent. So thank you so much for coming on, Sajid.
I appreciate it.
Back to Derby before you go and get a sleep and sleep off
sounds
the jet lag. You back to work now?
So tomorrow you just reminded me.
Sorry.
That's fine.
You got all the memories of
yeah,
Saudi
of course.
Arabia.
So it's been a brilliant journey.
Incredible stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Cheers. With me we've got Albanian superstar Florian Marku, along with his trainer Josh Burnham. How are you, gents?
Good, thank you.
Good. And you don't look like a man who's had a fight 3 nights ago.
It was not a hard fight, my opponent was running all the rounds, and till the 4th round that I knocked him out. He didn't throw a punch.
Were you satisfied to get that win?
Yes, I'm really satisfied. I want to improve myself, and I'm improving all the time because I'm new in boxing. But yes, I'm satisfied.
Yeah. So you've since become a bit of an internet sensation. Since BT Sport have put out a video of your opponent doing that and putting his hands behind his back, and then you knocked him out.
Yeah.
Did that annoy you when he was doing that?
He was making me angry, but I didn't. I knew that my time will come and I will put him down. I knew it, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it and enjoyed it. Really, yeah.
Yeah, because you then put your hands down and let's just have a fight.
Exactly, but I was putting my hands down because I was thinking he will throw something, to throw back, but he didn't. He was putting his hands down and he was walking around.
Josh's trainer, when he puts his hands down, what were you thinking?
I mean, the man makes me nervous every day. But yeah, no, we've been together, it's our 4th fight together now, so I guess I've got to know him a lot better. I've got a lot more faith in he knows what he's doing, he'll be alright. He also, not that any trainer wants their fighter to, but if it came down to it, he can take a punch.
Yeah?
I've seen it in the gym many times.
Not that you're going to encourage it.
Of course not. But no, it's exciting for me to watch. It makes me nervous, but it's exciting for me to watch.
Yeah. So that took you to 4 wins, 4 knockouts. You've not been doing this very long either.
No, I have started boxing. I have 9 months that I started to box. Yes, my professional career.
Yeah. And before that, you were an MMA fighter.
Yes, I have 7-0 in MMA. All my fights, I stopped them with knockout, 1st or 2nd round.
Really?
Yes.
Is that punches, submissions?
Kicks, yes, and 2 submissions.
Yeah. So what made you take the step from boxing? From MMA to boxing.
I had some injuries in my arms.
Okay.
You know, I had some operations and I couldn't grab good, and it was difficult for me. I love boxing. I love MMA. I love the cage fighting. It's good, but I couldn't grab anymore, and I couldn't. If cage fighting, it was only with small gloves, without wrestling would be the perfect one.
Right.
But
And has it been hard to go from MMA to boxing, or were you already well trained as a boxer?
Not really, because many years I started to fight from 12 years old when I started my career, and always my style it was like a boxer.
Right.
Boxing was my strongest one, and it was not very difficult to adapt to.
Yeah.
new sport.
Have you found it hard, Josh, stylistic? Because MMA typically is more square on, isn't it?
There's been a few changes we've had to kind of tweak and everything, but no, I mean I haven't found it difficult at all. He's a very easy man to work with, Florian. Nothing's ever too much. It's not as if, you know, he minds training hard, he minds trying new things. So no, it's not difficult at all. The hardest thing you'll ever come across is a stubborn boxer, and I mean he's stubborn, but he's not stubborn in the gym. So, yeah, he listens, he takes advice, he learns, and like you said, he wants to always keep learning, keep improving.
Yeah. And is it getting harder to match him at 4-0, 4 knockouts?
I'll tell you what, the hard thing is finding people who don't back out, whether it be that sparring or the fights. You know, we've had some great sparring over the last few camps. There's been some great sparring partners. We've also had a lot of people who pulled out of sparring. I don't know if they heard them or not, but
Right.
I don't get that with many other people. You know,
Right.
So it's been a bit frustrating finding opponents for the fights because they keep pulling out, they keep making excuses, whatever. But look, eventually we come for everybody, so everyone's going to get it eventually.
So where do you see yourself getting to, Florian? Are you a world champion waiting to
Very
happen?
soon, trust me. Maybe a lot of people that doesn't believe me, but I swear, very soon I will be a world champion, and everybody will see it.
And are you sticking at welterweight, or are you going to
In
be?
welterweight, yes.
Because you're quite squat, short welterweight, aren't
Yes,
you?
yes.
Do you think that helps?
I like it. I like because I'm a fighter. I go inside of the ring. If you see all my fights, I don't like to run like my opponents. I like to fight.
And let's talk about your fans. And I'm sure there are plenty that are going to watch this.
Yes.
On your debut, 1,200 people at York Hall.
1,400
Was it-
Albanians was there.
1,400
Yes.
mad Albanians that lifted the roof off of York Hall.
Yeah, exactly.
And then York Hall again on your own. And you've done the O2.
Yeah.
Like, how have you got that many people? Is it humbling? Like,
You know, I love my country. I love Albania. I'm very proud that I am from this country, and we are very tough people. You know, we have strong mentality. You know, and I'm happy that everybody's supporting me. I'm very grateful for, and we keep going. You know, without their support, I cannot go further. You know, and they make me stronger and much better.
yeah. And then when you're in that ring, because I saw the footage from the O2, and you were on early, and normally when someone's on early, you don't really hear much around the stadium.
Yeah.
I could hear those Albanians
Exactly.
shouting for you. Does it make a difference when you're in the ring to hear that support?
No, I hear everybody, and I am enjoying this night. The fight night is my life. Boxing is my life, you know. And when is the fight day, is my lovely day, is my best day, and I'm enjoying. I watch my Albanian fans. I give them my hand, and I can wait to fight. And when I fight, it's everything. Beautiful.
And I mean, every one of your opponents has had a good record from your debut through to Saturday night. Is that going to continue and build those opponents up as you're going along?
Yeah, of course. Florian is adamant about it. He only wants to fight people with winning records, people that are going to come to fight. Obviously on Saturday, we thought you were going to come more than you did.
Yeah.
But you know, you can only fight what's in front of you. So we we're always looking for opponents who have got winning records who are going to come to fight, and that's the culture of the Albanian people. They don't want to see their hero. They don't want to see the man, Florian Marku, knocking out some bum in front of him. They want to see someone who's going to give him a bit of a test.
Yeah. And I know there are plans, I'm not sure we can go into them now, but I know there are plans for your next opponent and your next fight and your next date, and it's a big one, a big platform.
Exactly.
Are you looking forward, does that give you an extra incentive to go and work harder for
Of course, much more. No time for vacation, no time for chill out, yes.
Are you going back to Albania before
Yes,
that?
I'm going like 10 days to meet my people, my family, and I'm going back.
But I hear you get mobbed when you go back to Albania.
Yeah,
We get mobbed here. It took us half an hour from the station to the O2 the other day. I'm a nobody. He puts one video of me on Instagram, and I get stopped in the
And you're now famous amongst the Albanian folk.
Yes, it's good.
That's mad. So is there any sponsors, any people that you want to give a mention to?
I want to thank Spitalfields, Pajo Construction, Altar, the Eagle Design Construction. They are elite gains, that they are my protein and these supplements. Yes, I want to thank them for their support, because it's very important in this sport.
Yeah.
The support.
And how's it been working with Steve Goodwin over here? In terms of how did you come to work with Steve?
I think Steve is the best man to deal here in England. He's my manager. We signed a contract together for my next fight, and everything is going perfect. I couldn't want something more.
And he's moving you to those big platforms that
He's looking after me, because he knows that I try my best and I give my best, and he knows that I will be big soon.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon on one of these big platforms.
Yes.
People get to see more of what Florian Marku's about.
Exactly.
And Josh, you're going to have your hands full getting him opponents and sparring partners.
I'm excited in a way. nervous to have to deal with people pulling out of us again, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
He's more nervous when he drops his hands in the ring and calls it on.
A little bit. I couldn't quite tell you how nervous that makes me, but yeah. Usually, listen, you see that in the ring against his opponents. You see him in some spars he has.
Really?
Honestly.
You're the same behind closed doors?
I would pay good money to watch the spars he has.
I'd have to come down.
Honestly, I would.
I'd have to come and watch. Right, thank you so much, gentlemen. We wish you nothing but the best for the future, and everyone keep an eye on these two, because they're going places.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, back for the Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed those interviews with Sajid and with Florian, who, they've both got such decent futures in the sport still, so keep an eye out for them. On to the Q&A. LPC1231 on Twitter. Are we due a price rise on small hall tickets anytime soon, as they appear to have been the same range for years?
No price range. I mean, you could push ringside up by 5 or something. A lot of people are doing £70 for ringside.
Yeah.
We still do 65. I think that's perfectly sustainable as it stands. I don't think we need any more. I think fans pay enough. I think £40 is more than enough for small hall boxing. It started off at £30 9 years ago, so we've seen a 33% rise in 9 years. Battle rate slightly under inflation, but I think fans are paying enough.
Yeah, so it'll stay at that rate as it is for now.
No plans to increase anything.
All right, lovely. Good news to everyone out there. Oliver McManus, I know it wasn't the desired outcome for Sajid. In the spirit of not dwelling on the negative, what were the best bits for Sajid out in Saudi Arabia? So I've already asked him this in the one-to-one, but as a manager,
the experience. Listen, it wasn't a fight that you'd ever have taken in the UK. I would never have taken that fight for a boxer. However, he got some amazing training, amazing experience, got well paid. He wanted to do it desperately, and for me,
you can't deny a lad of the opportunity.
No, at the end of the day, a loss doesn't define him, and that's okay. And he learned so much from it. He's come back with renewed enthusiasm. I don't think there was any loss. He was the away fighter. He was the underdog in the fight, but he wanted to do it, so good luck.
If you switched the scenario and said you've got the same fighter for 500 quid in Macclesfield next Saturday, then you're not going to be there.
You wouldn't go there for £2,500.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all about the scenario of what it was. Scouting Football on Twitter. With many pay-per-view complaints, how did Sky and Matchroom get into a position where White versus Rivas headlines a pay-per-view? I think it's a great card and will be entertaining, but with no Sky UK boxing elsewhere of note at the moment, it's tough for fans to fork out more onto the additional Sky fee.
Totally agree.
There's not a point of that I could argue with.
Totally agree. We shouldn't be in this position, in my opinion. But they'll go back to the, would you pay for that? That to me is a normal Sky show.
It's a normal Sky show.
It's a really good show, but let's take it apart. We're not the undercard are good fights, but we're talking about opening with the Southern Area title fight.
Yep.
Which is great fight, Aziz Duffield. But Price against David Allen, it's a normal Sky fight.
Could headline a fight night.
It could also be second top of the bill for a fight night. To me, it's a problem that if people, as I said before, if people buy it, then therefore you're supply and demand, isn't it? If people don't buy it, they don't supply
fund the problem.
That's up to people individually. If somebody feels that is not pay-per-view worthy, don't buy it.
Yeah, then there'll always be the argument, look, you're paying 20 quid for entertainment from 6 in the evening until midnight. Cool. But
watch the Champions League final for free.
Yeah, exactly.
On the same channel.
Yeah, you could have watched the Cricket World Cup final,
which is amazing, for free.
Wimbledon for free.
But I'm going to pay for Dillian White, Oscar Rivas. But if the boxing fans believe that it's value and keep paying, they're going to keep delivering, and it will mean that as gradual time, if you're going to pay for this one, then the next time when it's slightly worse, you pay again, and it will sync to it all. So it's the fans that are. It's like a drug dealer, right? Drug dealers don't exist if you don't buy the drugs.
Yeah. Not sure it's an analogy.
Oh, it is. Because it's like a pay-per-view model. If I put on a fight next week, Sajid Abid against Victor Adaga, and people go and buy that fight, then and pay £10 a month, £10 for each fight. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You wouldn't sell that fight, but there's a point upon which people wouldn't pay. But if they're going to pay for Dillian White, Oscar Rivas, then the people behind it, Sky, Eddie, and Matchroom, they're entitled to do it because it's supply and demand. If people are going to demand it and pay for it, they're going to supply it.
I was watching the IFL interview today, and Eddie reckoned they'll get 400,000 plus buys. 400,000 people are willing to hand over 20 quid for that.
But then if Eddie's right with that number, right?
Then you can't blame him.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Because it's supply and demand. Would I pay for that? No. But would if people want to pay, then they're going to supply. So people can't moan, because if only 100,000 or 50,000 people bought it, they wouldn't be doing it again, would they?
Yep. Agree. Aussie Smith on Twitter, love this question. Is London a flooded market for boxing? From July the 13th until September 27th, there are 10 shows happening, with 3 on July the 20th and 2 on September 21st. While there's regular opportunities for fighters, is it a problem promotionally?
It's definitely a problem for the bigger promoters. I think that yes, if you look going back a few years ago, when we was hitting London, at that point we had Mickey Elliott doing a couple of shows, Tommy Duff was doing a couple of shows. There was nothing much else going on. There wasn't really that much happening. It has changed and it is now flooded. The small hall doesn't really. It affects a little bit in terms of we have Goodwin Boxing, because of our marketing strategy. We have a steady supply of repeat customers that come.
Yeah.
And that tends to come because they like the product. And they tend to be different customers than those that will go to the O2.
Yeah.
O2 are when I say fanboys, that's not an insult. They're just people that are fans of boxing.
It's the term casual, isn't it?
Casual.
That people use.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. They're not really coming, whereas you'll call that something.
They go for the event rather than the sport.
Yeah. So that's affected. You go and do two shows at the O2, Saturdays apart. That is going to have an impact. If there was only one of them, they'd probably have got 50% more sales of one show.
So just look at last weekend with Dubois Joyce and this weekend with White Reavers. Neither has sold out.
And that's because they've both gone a week apart. So that shows you that it's flooded. small hall stuff affected to a certain extent, but I think it's just who's better at marketing, who does. You know, we were quite happy with the turnout last week on the 6th, so we haven't got a problem. But we have noticed that numbers are less when there is so much, but it's not as badly affected as the bigger promoters.
What about the other stuff? So opponents, is that harder to manage and work? No.
Because, how efficient are you at doing that job? We've got a good team of people.
Yeah.
So we're efficient.
I'm just thinking if you had, I don't know, say there was an MTK show on in Brentwood at the same time, and the week before there had been a British Warriors show, then you've got to plan your opponents on the same night as MTK need opponents, and you've got to work it with the week before in mind, hoping none of those get stopped.
But you got that. But whether they were fighting in London or Manchester, they'll be fighting.
Well, that's true.
They're going to get stopped wherever. And if you got an MTK show at the same day as our show, we're still looking for the same opponents as if they were promoting in Manchester. So it doesn't make any difference. See, the only difference is basically to whether you're getting casual small hall fans that are going to split themselves into two. I think what you find, ours is organically grown.
Yeah.
We don't give loads of free tickets to swell numbers. We don't do that. So everybody that comes in, pretty much apart from our own boxers, have paid for a ticket.
Yeah.
Normally, hopefully from the boxers most of the time. Sometimes direct where we have a steady supply. We haven't seen it as a problem, but I'm sure if there wasn't as much, we'd probably get more sales.
Yeah. Cool. Final question, because we haven't got that many this week. What do you think's next for Dubois and Joyce? Will any of the big guns be worried? What did you think of it at the weekend?
What do I think of the fights?
Start with Joyce, big juggernaut. He's going to be a hard sell, isn't he?
I think he's a hard person to fight.
I think everything about him is going to be difficult because he's not really that entertaining to watch. Or he wasn't against Jennings. I find him entertaining in some of his other fights. But it's impressive that he's beaten Brian Jennings in 10 fights into his career. You can't sell a highlights package of that to the casual fan to say, come and watch this big dude. But how do you match him for his 11th?
It's a real difficult job, but you've got to say, Frank Warren, for all the critics that they have of various things, they're excellent at developing fighters through to world titles, and they've got a track record second to none at doing that job. So I'm sure they'll do it the right way, and they'll develop him. They were talking about doing Gorman against Joe Joyce, which I think is poor Nathan, right? So
you don't want to see him just become the opponent.
No. So I'm not sure Ricky Hatton would go down that road as his manager. But so that's what they were talking about. Frank said that's the fight I'd like to see Joe Joyce fight next. Joe Joyce, Nathan Gorman. So I understand why they're doing that on Joe Joyce's behalf. They're just going to build him and then put him into a title position. I was very impressed with Dubois. Very impressed.
What level do you think he could win a fight at right now? I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not saying if you're his manager you would do it. But if you look at it, I think
he'd beat Charles Martin for a world title now.
I agree.
So the fight that Joshua had on fight 15, I think that Dubois would win on fight 12. Yeah. So I think he would smash up Charles Martin. I think my opinion on what I see so far is I believe that Dubois is better than is a better fighter than Anthony Joshua.
Do you think he'd beat a Caballel? I think he would.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with Caballel when he fought Chisora.
Yeah,
I think he beats.
He's a mover, isn't he, Caballel?
I think Dubois beats him. I think Dubois is a real deal, and I just think he's going to be built correctly because Frank Warren will do that job with him. But I think when we look back at this in 10 years' time, I think that Dubois will reach higher levels than Anthony Joshua and be remembered as a better fighter.
It'll be difficult to reach a higher level, but we'll achieve more when he gets there.
What I'm saying is beat better fighters.
his CV might.
His CV
live
will be
longer.
better. We'll look back and say his CV was better than Anthony's. Not that Anthony's not done really well, but I think he's been very, very well matched, Anthony. And he's not, he hasn't fought the top ones. He fought Dylan White when he was a novice. He fought Klitschko when he was finished. He's not fought the Tyson Fury, the Don Tawad on top of their game. And I think Dubois, when he gets there, will fight these ones on top of the game, and I think he'll beat them.
Yeah, he's a scary young man, isn't he? Scary young man.
I think he's really good. He's not ready for like Tyson Fury now, and I think
No.
So I think Fury and Wilder are ahead of the game. But he's a very, and I was just very, very impressed with him how he dismantled Nathan.
Yeah, it was impressive. Right, that's all the questions that we've got. We should be back next week for 71. And thank you to the guests that have come up tonight. We haven't got any sponsors that anyone sent me, so send them in for next week. And I'm going to find out who wants supercalifragilisticexpialidocious as a ring walk. So right, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribing, and we'll see you soon.